Good morning, everybody. It's been about a week since we launched. We've had quite a few views for our videos. We've already added a few more features to the system and did some bug fixes. We'd appreciate the likes, subscribes, or shares. It always helps us out. So let's get right into it. This morning is Friday the 21st, around 8:41. In case you missed the first video, I'll go real quick through a couple of things. It's an add-on to NinjaTrader, and when you subscribe to our software, you actually get everything. We don't gate anything. Any of the subscriptions, you get all the software included, so everybody's on the same footing. But you get this strategy builder, which is used within the analyzer, and within here you get all sorts of different things. We have 20 plus strategies that you can use to build a custom strategy out of. These are different entry types. And then you've got your initial trade parameters, different advanced trading parameters, such as a dynamic take profit, event take profit. The same with stop losses. We've got different kind of entries and entry managements, like the signal filters. If you want a bigger candle, smaller candle, trade management, like break even, DCA, reversal parameters, chart settings for colors, and it's all right there. We've also got indicators built into the strategy, so you can actually show the indicator straight from here or use it for different kind of filters. For example, the moving average has different options. You can have up to 7 moving averages. You've got your session time parameters. We can do up to 3 sessions. This is new. We've added daylight saving time mode. Make sure that you keep it on whatever area of the world you're in if you observe daylight saving time. If not, you just put on ignore. And then again, 3 sessions and all the different options within that. There's a lot of things here within the filters themselves. You've got probably over 100 filters, 20 plus strategy entries, and then all the different variations, of course. So you can get thousands of variations and create a strategy that would work for your area, your time zone, all that. We have a custom control panel added through the indicators. We have our own folder here, SNL control panel. And once you get that in, it'll ask you to include a strategy because you can't use it without a strategy. And it only works for our strategies, of course, because these are very specific to our stuff. Once you get that, add your strategy. And then once added, double click on Strategy Builder Pro. It shows up here. You can either adjust it from here, or if you've created one and you've saved a template, just load it. Once that's open, you get the chart trader. That's part of the strategy. So once you create a strategy and you upload it, this chart trader automatically shows up. A full chart looks like this: control panel on the left, chart trader on the right, and chart in the center. Within the chart, you get your news right here, which you can adjust right here through the news settings. If you don't want to see it at all, you just remove that. If you want to see next day news, tomorrow, Saturday, there's nothing showing. If you do crypto, Forex, energy, or metals, you can select all of those and you can see them individually or all together. Low priority news, if you want to see that. And then there's also other news settings that we can go through later. If you want to do it fully automated, you don't want to deal with the chart trader, press this button here, Chart Trader Pro visible, and it'll actually hide it. If you want to see it again, press it there and you'll see it. With the control panel itself, you can do something very similar. You can collapse the control panel here, and you have this little bar with 3 dots. So if you want to get it back, you just press that, and there it goes. Let's see. Oh, we also got the copier. Here's the copier, and with the copier, you get a few different things within it. So here, you can see it. We're paused. If you want to turn it on, press that. You can select your master, copy options, and all of that. You have balances right here, and it'll show you what's open. It'll show you the total you've made and the balance of the accounts. My sim account stands at negative. Anyway, you get a copier, control panel, the Trader Pro, and the Builder Pro. Let's go over a few things. Once you're in the chart, you saw that it was disabled. So we can actually real quick disable the entire strategy just by clicking this button here or enable it. And even if strategy is enabled here in your strategies, but you've disabled it here, you won't be able to get a trade. Even if you try, press buy or sell, it will not enter you. The entire system has been basically disabled. So it's very simple. Now, if you can use this for different reasons, you have to go get water or whatever, a couple other things here, you can see automated entry within the builder trading style, automated entry. And you've got different variations. So you've got the manual entry with signals and manual entry with no signals. You can set up an entire strategy and change the manual entry with signals rather than the system entering you. It'll just give you a signal. Once you get that signal, you can decide to enter. And you have different colors here for your candle settings, and then signal object marker. You can choose a different type of marker. And then when you go to Strategy Trader Pro parameters, you have some other options for specifically this chart trader. And within there, you've got enable live signal object and enable live signal coloring. For example, you can change the color of just the signal candle right through here. And you can decide if you want the color to apply or the object to apply. By default, everything applies. If you change the candle colors, when the candle closes, you'll see a green or red candle as a signal color plus an object above it. So above, below. And that way you can enter if you're doing manual trading. So for those that don't do manual, you still get to see everything, but it's just an option for manual trading. You've also got manual entry with no signals, and that's basically you're just trading on your own. There won't be any signals and nothing automated. Trade as you please. Very simple. Now if we click here in the control panel, we see strategy fractals break, and that's basically whatever this entry type is here, that will show up right over here. And so you know what strategy you're running, what kind of entry type, all that. But if you click over here on automated entry and it goes to manual, you'll see that it switches to a manual, and actually the historical changes based on the chart back tests of your automated strategies. Then back to automated entry, showing the historical win rate of this strategy. The time system, it'll show your local time and NinjaTrader 8 time, and that's so you can ensure they're both on the same clock. You don't want this to be different. You don't want your computer to be on one time zone and NinjaTrader on another, because it'll cause issues. So want to make sure that's always the same. If they're not, you will have problems. And then you see the UTC time here. And the reason is we do a lot of community-based stuff now and in the future. The point of this is to be able to share strategies with other people, to be able to work with the community in Discord. And so because of that, we want to make sure that everybody knows what time it is with a universal clock that doesn't change, since we're all in different zones and things like that. If I tell you my strategy starts at 9:30 a.m., but you live in Europe and I'm in America, we're going to have a different 9:30 a.m. And so that's the purpose of UTC. Now let me show you a couple things specifically with sharing strategies. So for example, one of the biggest things is, since we're community focused, we want to be able to share our strategies. Right here, this top button, strategy button, if you actually click that, a window will pop up that will give you the exact details of your strategy. It'll tell you first to verify. That's exactly what the purpose is this, because with templates, you often don't get all the details, or they're not handled properly because of different time zones. It doesn't give you the instrument, for example. This here is great because you can double check on your system, make sure you're on the right instrument and time. So that's at the top, tells you to verify it. If other things changed within the data series, it'll give you that information as well. And then you get the strategy UTC time. Even though you see that my session start here, for example, is at 9:30, you don't see a 9:30 start time, right? Here at session start time, you see 2:30 p.m. because that's the UTC time for it. When you see that, you can apply that easier, because if you go back to your strategy builder here, when you're going to set it up, if you go to show time in and change this to time, you'll actually see the exact same hours, 2:30, 3:59, 4 p.m., and 9:59 p.m. down here. And no matter where you are, when somebody shares their strategy with you, you're going to get this information. And once you put that in here, and you go back to your NinjaTrader 8 time zone time, it'll actually modify your time according to UTC time. And wherever you are in the world, you don't have to worry about what time is it there versus here and what's that conversion. It doesn't matter. The system does it automatically in the background. You're good to go as soon as you put that information in. Now, if there was changes to the strategy, you'd see them right here. This is just a basic. We just opened it up and it went, for example, say I go to ATR trend and I'm showing the ATR trend right now, right? I click back. We made a change to our strategy settings. And so it'll show you right here in the ATR trend indicator parameters. We go to view ATR trend and we make it true. And so every setting you change will pop up here. When you send this to somebody, they can copy it one for one and get the same exact results you've got without the headache of trying to do conversions and all sorts of other things. We set it up to be as simple as possible, and we hope you enjoy that. From there, of course, you see your session start time, your session end time, and these change colors. When you're in session, this will turn green, and then session end time actually turns yellow-orange 30 minutes before end time, so you know you're getting close. That's always red because it'll let you know when everything closes. This will change to your flatten time. If in your session time you enable flatten trades at the flatten time, this will change to that time. So you know that even if you start your session at this hour and this hour, but at this hour you want it to flatten, it'll let you know. Bar timer down here, copier management stuff, copiers back there. Click that, it pops up status right here. So right now it's paused. So if I press here, this will change to ready to copy. So it's that simple. All these settings at your fingertips. A couple more things. ATR trend indicator right here. Information about it there. But say you don't want to see that, or you have tons of indicators on the screen, you just press this button here and all the indicators, we got the bar timer gone, it's got the news gone, it's got everything gone. You just see the plain chart. Click it back, there it goes. We've gone over the collapsing the control panel, and then there's the NinjaTrader 8. So here, for example, is the original NinjaTrader's chart trader. Now we don't have access to this. So for example, if you click through this, you need to use this. You don't use ours. If you want to use ours, you have to use ours. It's just the way it's set up. But this does have to be hidden, visible or hidden for you to see the orders. So we like to keep it hidden. That way you still get certain things from NinjaTrader, but you're using our system. Now, real quick, this area, settings, filters, and indicators, it's a place where you can actually adjust live without having to refresh the chart, different settings from both the indicators and the actual strategy. For example, if you go to dynamic stop loss, all of these dynamic stop loss settings that are within here, say you didn't adjust any of these, right? And now all of a sudden you're like, hey, I want to adjust them. You can do that right here. Go through and adjust everything as you please, and they will happen live. Like I showed you the ATR trend here, for example. All I did was click on it. It gets enabled, it gets disabled. If you want to adjust it, you can do that in real time. So it adjusts everything in real time. We're going to try to bring as many indicators as we can in this. Not everything is possible because of the way NinjaTrader does things, but whatever we can, we'll bring in here. The other indicators will just have to be enabled directly from here. For example, like MACD, if you want to do something with that, you have to click on Show MACD, and that will then display the indicator within the chart when you enable it. Some you can, some you can't. For the majority, they are in here. In the future, we'll try everything we can to put within that. So you can do everything live without having to disrupt anything while you're trading. Let's see here. Out of the control panel, the chart trader here, nothing too crazy. You get options. For example, you can disable the entire thing, enable it. Strategy longs live and strategy shorts live. This is where if you want to disable one or the other, for example, you're seeing the charts, you know, they're going up, right? And you're like, I don't want to take any shorts today. So you're going to pause your shorts and only work longs. Even if your strategy has the option to take a short, you're not going to allow it because you're like, okay, this looks definitely, it's just going up. It's that simple. We got the automated versus manual entry right there. This just shows you once you're in a trade, this will show you if you're long or short, the price at which you entered, and if you're in a profit. And you can click through points, percentage, pips, ticks, dollar amount. You've got your flatten button, reverse trade button, and break even button. With break even, you can adjust it to have multiple ticks above, and then also percentage wise. So you can do 5%, 10, 25, and 50% over break even. And so it's break even plus whatever you choose. You've got your buy market and sell market button. You've got your buy stop from previous high and previous low. For example, here's your previous high and your previous low. And so if you press stop previous high, it'll put a stop right there at the previous candle's high. And that's that. You've got some orders for your copier that's in for both your master and follower. And yes, it does add an actual limit order for the followers. So you click here, it closes them both. Okay, so there's that. The previous low would be here, but since we're below it already, I don't think you want to enter. So it just puts it like that. Boom, entered. Let's see what happens. We're probably going to lose. Look here in positions. We're in both of them. It copied it. And so let's see what happens. Will we win? Will we lose? Let's see what happens. You're just putting a limit or a stop and letting it decide. You've got buy on green close, sell on red close. You click these 4 buttons on this side and 4 on the right. These are conditional buttons. And so you can click them, and if something happens, that button tells you, then you'll take a trade. So there you go. So we're out of the trade. Positions closed that we lost. That's how it works. If I click buy on green close and we end up closing green, it'll take a trade. Let's see if we end up green. Nope, we were red. So it didn't take a trade. It reset because we're on reset each bar. All of these buttons here, you can click them all. Buy and close above line. So that one, if it closes above this line, it'll take a trade. Because we're on reset each bar, at the end of every bar, it'll reset all of these buttons. You can tell it just for this bar. Like you can tell if you're seeing something and you're like, okay, if this happens here, I want to take a trade. So that's what it's for. But if you, for example, want to do continuous, where you say, okay, we're in a downtrend, and as soon as we turn green, I want to take a trade. You can actually leave it on continuous, and this will remain here until it actually applies, or any of these. So they're all conditional. So as many as you select, it's looking for that condition within the bar that's closing. Any of the conditions, if they apply, it takes a trade. You've got the reset all buy sell on buttons. So basically if I've selected a few of these and I'm like, okay, I don't know, this is just turning on me, I'm not sure where it's going, I want to get rid of it all, right? So you just press reset all and all of them reset. I put buy on green close, so it should take a trade for me. There it goes, boom, took a trade, and we're in. And that's really nice because if you're manual trading versus automated, even a few milliseconds quicker matters. The idea is, even if you're trading manually, giving you the same ability as an automated system is what it's about. So you trade manually, that's fine. You put on buy on green close because you're expecting it to close on a green, and that's when you take a trade. It works. And then same with high body close, and that's basically saying if it closes above the previous candle's body, take a trade, and then the wick is above the previous candle's wick. And so that's that. Let's real quick cover this. Right now we're in a profit, and you actually see this green outline on the chart as well because it's telling you you're in profit. So when the chart outline is green, you're in profit. When it's red, you're in loss. And see how it turned red? And so it's a quick indicator. And then you've got all the information here on the left side. Right here, you can change from strategy settings to custom settings or to ATM. If you do custom, you apply whatever you want, then it applies these settings initially. And yeah, and then ATM settings, you just want to make sure you have something down here in order to get the ATM settings you want. But I don't really recommend ATM settings for this because ATM is its own thing. Maybe if you're trading manually, but it's its own game. We'll try to support it, but it's more of a Ninja feature. We have all the automation you need, but it is there. And right now, we're making some adjustments for ATM when it comes to our copier because of the way it works. Our copier is specific to our system. If you're using our system to trade, the copier works well. And if you're using a different strategy or a different system like NinjaTraders, then we're going to do something where it pushes it into a very basic type of copier where it doesn't have all of the same functions as ours does that have protection systems and things for our system. But it should still work. We got take profit option 1. This is the initial take profit, and if it's 50 ticks, that's what the default is. And then you've got a couple other options. If you go into chart trader here in strategy, you've got initial target option 2 and 3. These aren't multiple profit targets. These are just options that you can add. So if like you have a strategy where you know that under certain conditions you want to trade 20 ticks, and then under certain conditions you might want to trade 40 ticks or whatever, depending on conditions, then you can adjust these. You have your initial target profit of 50, another option can be 100, another option 150. So right here, if you're at 100 ticks, it'll adjust this target. If market conditions are great, you just click that, and you're going to be using this variation of your profit target rather than the initial 50. So it's just a way to be able to quickly change your target profit without having to do custom settings in here or anything like that. Okay, we've gone over the break even. You got the option to reverse the entire strategy. So for example, if your strategy is about to take a long, but conditions make you feel like it's not going to work, it's going to go short, you can literally click this, and instead of taking, it'll take a short. So instead of having to disable the entire system so it doesn't take a trade because you know you're about to go into a trade, you can reverse it and it'll go in the opposite direction. Let's see where else. Got the average entry and the close price. When you enter into a trade, it calculates your take profit based on either where you entered, the price that you entered at, or the close of the candle. That could be beneficial in fast moving markets because if in your back test you're testing and you're like, okay, 100 ticks is a great take profit for this, but it's also in a very fast moving market because it's either at the open or 9:30 or 10 or whatever Eastern time. When you get these quick moves, you might not want to base it off your average entry because your entry might be 30, 40, 50 ticks past the close of the previous candle, because it doesn't know the conditions of your system. It doesn't know your speed of your internet. It doesn't know all this stuff. So it's just doing an estimated guess of where you're entering. But in real time, you may be entering way different. So in fast moving markets, you might want to keep it on close price. And then when you enter, it'll just base it off the previous candle's close price rather than your average entry. You may not get your 100 ticks every time. You sometimes might get 60, sometimes you might get 30, sometimes you might get 80, but at least it makes more sense because if your back testing tells you that, hey, in this strategy you can get about 100 ticks off that close price, it's more realistic. I think I went over everything. We don't gate any of this. We do have a few different options for subscriptions, but you always get the software. But if you go on our website here, you'll see, and it gives you some more information about things. We have a light mode, so if you like to trade with white, you get a similar looking system in light mode. It's not just the dark mode, we do both. We have notifications when a strategy enters. You'll get a notification that you can disable it, but you'll just get a notification letting you know that you entered and when you exit as well. So if you're browsing the internet or whatever while it's going, it'll pop up when that happens. Again, copier, you got both dark and light mode. All of our products are both dark and light mode. And the copier, with all the accounts, you can actually choose your account types. So when you go into the copier, you can actually choose what type of account when you're in balance settings, and it'll let you choose from real, funded, evaluation, or some accounts. It'll place them in categories. When you're making money on whichever account, you can calculate everything. We'll do a separate video for that. All indicators, advanced settings, entry types, all of that. And then the community features, which is the UTC time, pressing on that button there for the windows to show you all your strategy settings have changed. We updated daylight saving time, so that's why you don't see it here. We just went through it, and I realized that we needed it, so we put that in there. We got our Discord. This is where we'll be sharing strategies with people. We'll be showing our profits and all of that. In this community strategies, that's where you're going to see everything. I have a few here in honorable mentions. I have the 40K strategy in there. You can join us and get that. For example, this is our opening range 1-bar breakout strategy. We get a net profit of about 67 a year with a total drawdown of 3,700. And the nice thing is this is one mini, but if you like micros, you can do one and still get quite a bit, about 10% of that. So 6,700 or so with about $381 drawdown. And so it's really nice. That's what I trade myself. I like consistency, and plus I have 50K accounts. I don't like this larger drawdown, but if you join, you do get all the settings to trade the same one that I trade. And I love opening range strategies, so we're going to do a lot of stuff with opening range and different filters. There's already a ton, but I'm always growing in ideas and things. And if you have ideas as well, share them and we'll add them so we can all benefit. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, just a bunch of different things. Anyway, let's go to our pricing real quick. We do 3-month quarterly pricing, and we have 3 tiers: the strategy builder tier, the community tier, and the CO inner sanctum. Right now we have a coupon code for $79 a month for our community tier, and so you get quite a bit of savings. I don't know, that's 60 off or something. Our typical price is $200 a month, and once these coupons have gone through, it'll be at $200 a month. Come on, join. Right now we've got for Black Friday and Christmas and all that, we'll stay at this price. If it fills up, we might extend it. We went live a week ago. We were hoping to go live in October, but some licensing issues came up. We dealt with it and went live a week ago. Yeah, but let me show you. So we got the 3 tiers. All of them, you get all of the same product. So you get the builder, the copier, the trader, the control panel. All of that comes with every tier. Not free tier, of course. A free tier is just for discussions and, again, see if you want to join. You get all the software. The only difference is you don't get the community aspect of the Discord. You still get to discuss issues with us. We have our support channel in the Discord, but you don't get the community tier. So it is a little cheaper with that. But right now with the coupon code, the community tier is even cheaper than that. I hope people sign up for that. Community tier, you get everything, of course, plus the community sharing and chat rooms. We get to work together to build strategies that make everybody succeed. So for the CO Inner Sanctum, that one is the one that you pay every 12 months. And actually, you also have every 6 months options. And I think you get 1 month free for each of them if you do the 6-month option. But for this one, you pay for 12 months. It's a little more expensive. And really, the only big difference is you get a chat room where I'm in, and you get more access to me. You get a special Discord role. If you're into Discord, you know what that's about. But yeah, so it's nothing crazy, nothing that you don't get here other than you get more time to talk to me. We'll be sharing more through the community tier either way. This is if you really want to support us. I just started out. We've got, I think, 1 member or 2 members now, if you count the free tier. But yeah, it's just if you want to help support us, get us going, be able to do more updates. That's the point of this, just more of support and being able to get your ideas across faster. So that's that. The free tier, you'll get 1 week access, ask questions, see if you want to be here. We'll guide you. You don't get the software, but if you join, you'll get everything, of course. That explains that. And all of this is through WAP. If you want to be an affiliate, we have a 10% affiliate sign up. So if you share our link with anybody and they join, you get 10% a month. So yeah, that's nice too. Yeah, that's about everything. One other thing we do have is the strategy guide. So we try to put as much of what we're doing in here for you, like different the strategies, explain them out for you so you understand them better. Most of this has been updated. There are a few that have not yet been updated that we still need to get through. But yeah, there's information about just about everything we have in here. If there's anything you catch that isn't in there, let us know. But We try to keep it as updated as we can and give you as much information as you can so you can create strategies and know exactly what they're supposed to be doing, how they work. That's everything. We're doing our best to get you updated systems. Just last week, we created this new one, expanding range trading. It's a new special entry, similar to opening range, but you tell it how many bars you want your initial range to be. From there, every time you get a green candle that has a higher price, it expands the range. Green candles expand the upper range, red expand the lower range every time they go lower from that opening initial size that you decide. So from wherever, if you're starting at 9:30 and you want 10 candles, your 5-minute candles, 50 minutes. After 50 minutes, it creates an initial range, and from there, every bar that expands will enlarge that range and take a trade. You can also expand it and trade off any candle. So even if it's a red candle expanding the upper range or a green expanding the lower range, you can take trades off of that. That was just implemented last week with those. And then we also added another ghost one. So we added reverse signal trigger. And so this one actually reverses the trade. For example, we did it specifically for that entry type. If you're expanding the upper range and then you have this set up, it'll actually wait for a candle that reverses and closes below the body or below the wick to trigger a reversal trade. All these settings can be applied to any entry type. It's not specific to one. And don't worry about that. If you have a different idea and you want to use it a different way, you can. And that's the idea. This is a builder. Every setting can be applied in many ways. Okay. I think we've gone through everything. I hope you enjoyed the video. The session start time just turned green because we just entered into 9:30. Yeah, we're 9:31. And yeah, very simple. Once the session starts. Oh, and there's one other thing. If you open up your output window, so if you go to NinjaScript output, when you're actually creating strategies through the analyzer, if you've got a strategy that you're watching and all of a sudden it does what you think it should have done and it didn't take the trade, and you're like, why didn't it take the trade? You can actually see why it didn't take the trade through the output window. It'll give you a small snippet of what happened. If it was the candle size, or if one of the filters didn't meet the expectation, or whatever it might be, you'll actually get that information. So you'll know why, but you have to keep the output window open for that. Otherwise, that's it. Enjoy the video. Click subscribe. It shows your support. Ask questions in the comment section. We'll be happy to reply. And let me know if there's anything you want included that'll give you a reason to join. We're going to try to include as many entry types and new settings as we can, new filters with time. So if there's anything that you guys want, you let me know and we'll try to make it happen. Okay? Thank you. And we'll see you later.